This may not surprise you at all if a country's state of art is hitting sixes with its striking architectural fashion. At the same time, these masterpieces dive into making money for their respective state. Wait, what? What if mega projects worth billions of dollars go down like a lead balloon? Would they still have a part in a country's economy? It's a crystal clear no. In this video, we will have you put your eyes on the most useless mega projects in the world. Let us first know, would you ever believe that Guinness record holder skyscrapers have just come to grief and can no longer boost the flagging economy? Wouldn't you raise your eyebrows if you get to know that a country's capital, which was aimed to host millions of residents, is just empty-headed at the time? Stick to the corner to track down the most useless projects in the world. We are just glad to have you back. If you want to root out the fruitless mega projects in the world, don't take your click back without watching it till its end. Before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button and also the bell icon to get notified about our ever new updates. Let's dig deep into the video. Yucca Mountain, Nevada, underground empty hole. You will be better familiar with several nuclear power plants that have been operating in the United States for ages. The waste products emitted from these power plants would have to get handled as well. In an attempt to bury the leftovers and uncultivated material let out from nuclear power plants, the United States decided to choose a mountain to manage this scrap from hundreds of power plants. But why did the US get to choose Yucca Mountain? America's mountains have this special perspective to absorb this arid medium, and that was the reason that the US government took Yucca Mountain as its destination. But there was a public difference of opinion as well. The residents in the nearby areas of Yucca Mountain, Nevada, disagreed and claimed that this attempt to tuck nuclear waste into Yucca Mountain would certainly contaminate their water assets. Even in the ongoing incompatibility and opposition to this decision, the President of the US somehow approved Yucca Mountain as their central area to submerge the waste in 2002. There was a fear hanging down that this mountain would no longer be worth visiting. Years later, in 2010, the US government under the leadership of Obama discontinued the framework of an underground empty hole in Yucca Mountain. Despite the high level of controversy, the federal court took hold to bring it back because of less number of residents in that area. Again, after a few years, the administration of Biden quit its funding and announced that Nevada has nothing to do with the state's economy and doesn't carry any preference from now onward. In a nutshell, the citizens of Nevada won their supremacy, and $17 billion of the US just faded away. Yucca Mountain with an empty hole was nothing but a dump. Forest City, Malaysia, a green futuristic city. With an ambition to be infrastructured on the four man-made islands in Malaysia, Forest City is an artificial ecosystem. The landscapes of Malaysia located closer to Singapore were the area to host this futuristic green city. You can simply visualize that this Forest City in Malaysia is directly a bridge that would hold Singapore and Malaysian residents together. To your surprise, this mega project was about to be sponsored by China. Chinese property owners claimed that if this mega project would get completed, this whole city would run on 100% renewable energy resources. When finished, this city would present a magnificent picture of elegantly structured apartments and natural water reflecting swimming pools on an area of more than 17 hectares. With all these mind-pleasing features, this city would provide a home to more than 700,000 citizens. Above this, do you know that Singapore stands second in the world's busiest economy? This would also make the location of this city appetizing for real estate agents. But why had we still included this city in the list of useless projects? As we have already coded that the construction of this was owned by Chinese property holders, and in return, the Chinese community would get a free appraisal of this city. As a result, the Forest City of Malaysia was to be occupied by Chinese inhabitants because a large number of Chinese citizens had moved to this progressive city worth $100 billion and started their civilization. Malaysia's townsfolk can't afford the luxurious apartment of this man-made city because this was to be designed respectively for the Chinese economic market. At that time, the Malaysian Prime Minister attempted to ban foreign property holders from investing in this city. This was the turning point for the future of the city, whose construction was about to finish in 2035. Eventually, a large number of foreign residents of the Forest City opted to leave this state, and as a consequence of this, only 500 native homeowners were left by 2020. This man-made Forest City, which had its future in itself, is no longer a matter of concern for the public. There's no idea what's next for the infrastructure of this enterprising city, and that is the reason the Forest City is now at the top list of most useful mega projects. Hawaii Interstate H3, awe-inspiring highway of the world. Let us first highlight the main intention of erecting the Hawaii H3 highway. The idea was first proposed in the 1960s to connect Pearl Harbor, located in the south, to the air station of Marine Corps in the east. This stunning highway runs between the landscapes of spectacular mountains and hill stations, but it still faced public resistance. This was because the native residents of Hawaii had the threat of massive industrialization that could bring down the natural, breathtaking viewpoints of their town. Above this public clashback, this awe-inspiring highway of the world was set to function in 1997, decades after its construction was originally set to put in the files. You can dream of a picture of this sensational highway having a perspective that several vehicles would stop and cause traffic hazards to capture its attractive knockouts. By that time, new advancements in its construction were made day by day with the new technology equipment for track modification, and hence its cost exceeded $1.3 billion, the most expensive highway in the world. The point to ponder is why this is still on the list of unproductive and useless mega projects of the world. Certain commentators believe that this road is destined for nowhere and that this highway doesn't lead to downtown as was assumed in the 1960s. Moreover, during its construction, many spiritual landmarks were broken down, and hence it's a curse for many nations to use this. That is why this highway is longer used by citizens and billions of dollars have been neglected. Central Airport, Spain. 5 longest runways in Europe. Doesn't it just click your mind why there was a need to construct a new central airport when Spain already had the main airport in Madrid? First of all, click it out of your mind that this central airport is not central at all. Rather, the location of Ciudad Real Central Airport is 200 kilometers apart from Madrid. Anyhow, this was determined to alternate the already present jam-packed airport of Madrid. This new airport was about to serve 2 million people per year, which was quite less than the overpopulation of Madrid. New advancements were continuously made in progress to make it capable of hosting more than 10 million people. You may have added Spain to your destination list of vacations because it captures millions of people each year around the globe. This may turn out shell-shocking for you that this Spanish airport has been labeled as an abandoned area by a British talk show. That's a real matter of concern, like how a Spanish airport with the 5 longest runways in the world can be abandoned. As we have made clear to you that this new airport was not exactly located in the central region and passengers coming to Spain had to travel for hours to reach its capital city. This imposed a problem, and in turn, the construction of this newly determined airport, which called for a cost of billions of dollars, could merely receive a few $1,000s in funds. Eventually, the major airline cut their routes to this airport, and this was left with one small airline that was functioning locally. This is why we have added Central Airport, Spain, to our video of the most useless projects in the world. Naypyidaw, Myanmar. Ground up, brand new capital city. What first comes to your mind whenever you put your ears to a country's capital city? Whether the most luxurious, populated, or the most enchanting city of the state? This is not the case for Naypyidaw, the capital city of Myanmar. But why? Why has it not received a heritage value like the capitals of other countries? To your surprise, this new capital city was secretly structured by the leadership of Myanmar's military forces. Even though its name was disclosed after years of its public broadcast, the shifting of the capital city from Yangon to Naypyidaw left everyone with the question tangling in their minds. Why is there a need to shift the capital city because its former capital city Yangon was already populated with 7 million people and still counting more to come? The location of Naypyidaw is just the central point of this country with many underground caves to store weapons and is far away from the sea, so there are little or no chances of an opposing attack. This was one of the reasons why the capital of this city was changed by military leadership in a hurry. This will certainly lower your jaw that the planned capital city of Myanmar, Naypyidaw, is roughly 6 times the size of New York City and has iconic parks and hotels to visit, but is still the most bizarre city in this world with no life or inhabitants in it. Because of the vacant landscapes in the city, the lack of quality education and health facilities, and the miles of distance between the buildings, many people show resistance to moving to this city. The long empty highways just drop a visualization of deserts. This billion-dollar project has not gained public attention and is therefore added to the list of the most useless mega projects in the world. This was all about the most fruitless mega projects in the world. Don't forget to leave your comment in the chat box below to let us know how you would reflect on the future of these useless mega projects in the world. Stay tuned for the coming updates to our channel.